Welcome to the RC Community Sticker Project, brought to you by Fast Freddy RC. In today's video, we're doing a shout-out to Larry's RC Room. Great guy, great kits, killer crawler track in his backyard. So for step 9, attaching the motor. Well, we're going to attach the motor we just finished putting the pinion gear onto and attaching it to our main chassis with a couple of screws. And you can see here they're showing you where they have to be because it does come with the 18-tooth pinion, but you can also either use a 17 or a 20-tooth pinion, but we'll be doing it the way that it's showing there. And then we also have this piece to put on, C7. Now this piece is coming off of a soft plastic parts tree. So you need to make note of that because you don't want to over tighten these screws because it's going into a softer plastic. So anyways, there are the screws that we need for this, and then of course this piece off the soft plastic parts tree. So I'll set this up and let's install the motor. So one of the things with the squash van that's different is that I know we've put the pinion gear on and we've put it to the right measurement, but there's often times where the easier method is you can stick the motor into the gearbox, and depending on where it is, you can actually see it, and then you can lock it down and have a better idea as to where you want to have that pinion sitting, so it's giving the most surface area when it's attached to the gears inside. Well, you can see here that we're not going to be able to do that because the way this is going to go is if we were to, and I'll show you this way. See on this side, we have the 18, 20, 17. We know that it's going to be these two holes, the ones across from each other, that are going to screw this into the chassis. And you can see that they're going to screw directly into the motor plate. Now you can see here on this side there's the screw, and in some ways it's not a lot. There's not a lot of screw holding that motor in place. I mean, if you see there's barely any of that sticking out on this side, which is interesting. So let's say we're going to put this in. We're going to put this in the way that it's showing. I just want to get an idea, but you can see down inside the gears that in order for this to fit on, we need to make sure that the pinion is sitting lower than there and then slide it up. Now, before I do that, one of the other things I am going to do is I'm going to give the pinion a little bit of grease, just because, I mean, we've put in a lot of grease already, but I'm going to grab this other extra tube I've got and I'm going to put a bunch on there because we know it's going to transfer to the other gears inside, so I don't mind having it a little extra there. So there we go. We've got our pinion all greased up. But again, here's what I'm wanting to show you with this is that if we take our, let's put that screw back in there. In order to put this on, you're going to have to go lower because it's got to fit in between the two gears and then basically go up into place. So you're going to want to put it in near the bottom and then bring it up to where it's going to fit into the hole. And I'm just trying to feel for that hole. There somewhere. We've moved the motor plate. See the motor plate? That's got to move over to that side. And then we're going to take this. There we go. And feel it now. So I'm just going to turn this around. I've got my other hand on there. And we're going to screw that into place. So in terms of positioning, notice that the divots, you could say, are slightly to the right, when it's sitting inside that motor mount area, because that is in. So that first screw is in. So now if we take a look at this one, we're going to slide that one into there. It should be finding the spot that we want. Yes, I can feel it. So we're going to take the screw and start screwing it into the other side of that motor mount, and I can feel it. So, and I'm not over tightening this, but those ones here, and I'm just going to do a final check here. Yes. And yes. So there we have it. There is our motor in place. So again, you're just going to see that in terms of how the motor is going to sit inside, if that's sort of off to the right a little bit, and you put the screw in on the other side, it's going to be in the right place and held. So now that the motor is in place, we're going to grab this part, the C7, and we're going to put it onto the chassis. And you can see here there are 4 screws, and this is going to sit over top. And you can see that it's actually notched out in the center right there to go over that. So that's, you know, we already know what the positioning is going to be. So I'm just going to grab the one screw, put that in on the top right there, and we know that it's going to sit right there. So I will start screwing that piece in. And again, I'm not going to tighten these up yet. I want to make sure that they're all going in without binding first. So I'm just going to put them in a little bit, and then we can turn this over. Same thing again. Feels all right so far. Okay, so I'm okay with that. So we're going to screw these in. And I'm just going back and forth, making sure that everything's going in properly. And same again on this side. And I'm not going to over tighten because, again, this is a soft plastic, so you'll end up sort of stripping out the holes if you do it too hard. So there we go. There is that front piece in place. So our motor's in place, that front piece is in place. So step 9 is complete. So now we're going to move on to step 10 and attach the motor guard.